Sorry, I know it's late. It's like 1 o'clock where I am, but I decided to spend my day playing Civilization, so I view this as more so my punishment than anything. But that's not the point. I'm here to tell you about a con experience that I had not too long ago, where I met quite possibly one of the most wholesome voice actors that I've ever met, and hopefully one of the most wholesome ones you'll ever meet if I somehow manage to convince you to see him. I'm talking about Mr. Rengoku himself, a man by the name of Mark Whitten, who is an absolute wholesome being of a person, and I hope that he doesn't end up watching my video on him later because that would just be the most embarrassing thing. But I think that he's just one of the coolest guys out there who just gives me the impression that he's done this for a while. And I really don't know how long he's been doing voice acting. I just know him as Rengoku. I know that he's one of the characters from Fire Emblem. I think he's Sethith, if I remember correctly. Or Sethith, I might not be pronouncing it right. He's also Flutter from Hunter x Hunter, you know, like the, I think that's the interest thing, like the little blue guy who not even Miroem could have destroyed. So there's that. I'm trying to talk about Mark Whitten and I'm going on a tangent, but when it came to meeting him, he was just pretty upfront about his personal life, I would say. How do I even begin here? Going to the convention, I had the impression that I was going to meet some voices that I really wanted to meet. So Tia Ballard was one of them. I wanted to get a couple of quintessential quintuplets cards signed. Lindsay Seidel, for the same reason. Johnny Young Bosch, because he's probably one of the biggest names in the industry, if not the biggest. That's what you get for voicing one of the big three. But when I was told that Mark Whitten was coming, I at first thought, who is this guy? Because I really didn't know him, and I know that sounded very harsh and insulting when I said, who is this guy? But in my brain, I was thinking, I haven't really heard of him, but I'm open to meeting him if he voiced anything pretty cool. And my coworker at work told me that he voiced Rengoku. He also told me that Mark Whitten was going to be one of the most wholesome guys that I've ever met. And I can honestly say that he was correct. Mark Whitten is definitely one of the most wholesome people. And the reason that I can say that with a straight face... Hold on. The reason I can say that Mark Whitten is wholesome with a straight face... No, that's not working. The reason I can say it with a straight face is because when walking up to his table, the first thing that I heard about him was that he played Stardew Valley. I'm not kidding. The guy who is renowned for playing the super-powered katana-wielding, flame-emanating Rengoku plays Stardew Valley with his wife, and does so because it's a non-stakes game, as he put it. It's just the little things. I got really excited when he was talking about it, because I've played a little bit of it in the past, and so we were talking about who would be the most ideal wife partner in that game. I think he said that he was an Abigail guy. I'm more of a Penny guy myself. I'm into redheads. Abigail's still a pretty neat wife partner in that game, but now that Rengoku has just about made that claim, I don't think that I should still stay in the running. I don't think I have a chance. Again, I'm going on a tangent here. I'm here to talk about Mark, because after we ended up talking about that, I ended up asking him a couple of questions about what it takes to be a voice actor, because that is one of the things that I want to try eventually. I mean, that's why I have the microphone here. I want to be able to use it at some point. And what he told me was pretty similar to what I read online, that you should take a singing class to really build up your diaphragm and give you that extra power when it comes to shouting. Because if you guys saw Mugen Train, and let's be real, anybody who knows Mark Whitten has seen Mugen Train, you know Rengoku does those yells at the very end of the movie, and I was curious about how he was able to do it without, you know, shredding his windpipes. So he tells me that the best idea is just to really practice it, to try out singing, to build up those muscles, and also to know your limits, because you never want to throw yourself out too far. If you do that, then you end up being too destroyed to keep going with the job. In other words, that was pretty cool. That was still really cool, how he was able to give me some tip advice. And you know what? Once I become famous in the industry, I hope that I get to work with him one day. That would be pretty cool. And then to end it, I ended up taking the photo that you saw on the thumbnail, where I asked him point blank, hey, this is a weird request, but you know that scene in Mugen Train where Rengoku gets a hole punched in him? Would you mind if we reenact that scene? I didn't really ask if we could reenact that scene. I think I asked him somewhere along the lines of, I want to try to do a shot where we replicate that, only we're standing at an angle where my hand looks like it's going through you, and then you give a distraught, aggressive face while I try to do my own aggressive face. A really awkward request to maybe just any other voice actor, but he was a champ. He was a Chad. He said, alright, sounds like a good idea, let's do it, with a smile across his face. And if any part of me that felt any sort of anxiety or any sort of fear about meeting a celebrity was definitely washed away at that moment. Because after that, we got up, we had his assistant take the picture, and it resulted in the photograph that you see right here. My favorite part is that I said that I was going to do an aggressive demon-like face, and I am clearly smiling in that photo, mostly because I couldn't hold it at that point. He was just such a fun guy to be around, and I was not able to be angry at all. So if we were to accurately reenact the scene and we were fighting each other, I don't think that I'd get angry at him, nor would I want to fight him, because he's just such a cool guy, and I think that he's probably my third favorite voice actor now. So after that, I gave him a handshake. I know, I participated in unprotected premarital handholding. That's, if you know me, that's something that I try to avoid as per the Bureau of Unprotected Premarital Handholding's laws and regulations. And then I was off on my merry way, my day made a little bit brighter after meeting this wholesome man. So if I've convinced you to do anything by the end of this, I'd say please, if you get the chance, meet Mark Whitten. I keep wanting to call him Whitten Ham because for some reason that just fits, and I kept calling him that, and now I make the Freudian slip, or I make the muscle memory of the tongue to try to say Whitten Ham instead of Mark Whitten. His name is Mark Whitten. I gotta try to remember that from now on. If I ever meet him again, I gotta try not to make that mistake. Please, for the love of God, do not make that mistake. It really is nerve-wracking going up to celebrities and saying, wow, I really love your work, and hi, really nice to finally meet you. Could you sign this piece of paper here? At least it's a little troublesome for me because I tend to say some really cringy stuff sometimes, and this man really wiped it all away. For example, when I was meeting with Johnny Young Bosch, who was also there, I wanted to settle a debate that me and my friend had about whether or not wizards and witches were the same thing. And I very much disagree. I think that wizards and witches are the same thing. My buddy believes that they are different. So I wanted Johnny Young Bosch to be the deciding factor of that. And when I asked him that question point blank, alright, I want to ask you, is there a difference between witches and witches? Because I don't think... wizards and witches, because I don't think that there is one. He looked really confused and said, what? He gave me the answer. He said that, yeah, they're definitely not the same thing. There's something different. I walked away in defeat in more ways than one, while my roommate was able to snatch victory. While my buddy was able to snatch victory on that one. The con itself was pretty fun. I ended up going with a couple of friends that I haven't seen in a while, or at least that I haven't seen altogether in a while. So we ended up going and splurging and making our wallets scream out in pain. But I wanted to show you a couple of things that I got, just because I thought that these were really funny and cute, and I wanted to try to brighten your day. So here's this one poster that I got for Attack on Titan. It cost me about $20. It's gonna be a little hard to see with the shine, but it's an Attack on Titan poster, and the roles are reversed. So the Titans are cute and chibi, while the main characters of the show are trying to reenact being the Colossal Titan and attacking them. I just thought that was super adorable. And then I have this poster right here that's just my pride and joy, honestly. If I ever see the Frerin voice actor, the dub actor, then I want her to sign this. It's a movie poster for Elf, and Frerin, being an elf, is I don't know, kind of vibing, I guess. I really love this thing. I think it's the best. I think it's a really good idea. Then you just never know what you're gonna find, and the things that you burn your money on is just well worth the while. It's a part of the culture, and I love it to bits. So yeah, if I've convinced you to do anything, it's when you go to a con, keep your eye out for Mark Whitten, because he's a really cool guy, really wholesome. Be sure to ask him about Stardew Valley, and also Fire Emblem, because my coworker said ask him about Fire Emblem. He's very much happy to hear when fans ask him about that. And I also sincerely hope that he gets more roles, because I think, if I remember seeing his banner, he didn't have all that many, at least not as many as some of the bigger voice actors that were on these panels. So, as a personal message to Crunchyroll or whoever is in charge of giving this man jobs, or his agent, or anybody who has an animation idea out there, look for Mark Whitten, because he'll definitely do a good job, or at least he will make it better. And also, don't be afraid to get his autograph and photo, because one mistake that I made was going for the photograph and not the autograph, because I didn't think that I'd want to make the additional expense, when after that visit, I'm now thinking that it might have been a good idea, because actually, wait a minute, now that I think about it, this gives me incentive to see him again. So I can go back to him and get an autograph this time. And maybe another photo, I don't know. I will throw my money at him. He very much deserves it. But anyway, that's all I got for you. Sayonara, suckers.